Hey guys, I'm Solomon with ClickX. Today's marketing hack of the day, I want to teach you a couple things you could do to increase your organic traffic, all right? Everyone wants more traffic. Oh yes, more traffic. Who doesn't want more traffic? You got two options. You could either buy, paid media, or you can get higher rankings in search engines and generate more traffic. That's what I'm going to talk about, because more traffic means more leads means more sales, and everybody's happy, right? Let's get started.
Marketing Hack of the Day is brought to you by ClickX.
All right, so everybody knows in paid search campaign, to get higher position and to pay less and get a higher quality score, that is, you need to work on your click-through rate, right? Which we call CTR, is click-through rate. It's a really important factor when it comes to paid search. All the account strategies based on how do we improve click-through rate. And so we rarely talk about this when it comes to organic search, and that's what I really want to talk to you about today. So before we get started, I want to kind of make sure that we agree on this one topic, which is organic ranking to the click-through rate based on which position that you're ranked, right? So if you're on the first spot of Google, you're going to get a lot more click-through rate than you're on the 9th spot. Not a lot of people actually scroll down and click on the 9th spot, right? So the chart looks something like this. It kind of comes down. The lower you are, the less likely that you're going to get searched, all right? We agree on that part. Now, let's talk about what would you actually have to do to get your page from being on, let's say, the 9th spot all the way to 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. In order to do that, you have to understand what Google is actually using to put people on the first spot, okay? There are 200 plus factors that go into the Google algorithm, but one of them that we're all confident, and like I said, there's been a lot of studies done in this, is that in paid search, the higher the click-through rate, the higher the chance of your ad showing up on the top. And so in organic, Google is doing that very similarly. If you have a really hot piece of content that everybody's engaging with, they just click on it, they click on it and click on it, 3rd, 4th, 5th, the 150th time people are clicking on it, Google is going to reshuffle the search results to give more credit to the guy who's getting the most amount of engagement. All right? So you need to think about having better click-through rate in your organic is actually going to help you get higher up on the search results. In addition to that, I want you to really think about how you can improve your click-through rate, all right? I'm going to give you some tips on how you can do that. Google recently rolled out an artificial intelligence or machine learning, whatever you want to call it, a system in place which is called RankBrain that would actually process all the search queries based on all the information that Google has about the engagement, the Google Analytics information that's on the website, especially the click-through rate information. So Google is using machine learning as a means, right? That was something that was done earlier last year to be able to improve all of its search results. Okay, so I believe that over time, this is going to be the case for all search queries, because we already know that in paid search, click-through rate is extremely important. Engagement rate is extremely important. And the more clicks that you get, it actually helps you lower your cost per click. So it makes sense that Google is there to reward the content, to reward the advertiser who actually gets the highest click-through rate. So you can imagine that it only makes sense that in organic, they're just copying the same sort of concept and bringing it over. So you need to think about how do you improve your click-through rate. And like I said, you can actually read a lot of the blog posts that are put out by Larry Kim at WordStream, which talks through this at length. But I just want to give you some tips on how you can improve your click-through rates. There's some things that you can do, which is working on the things that actually users will see when they're searching for things and improving that, right? I'm talking about the physical things that they see on a search results page. So the first one is a headline, because most of the time, what you're getting most of your traffic from are to blogs. So if they're getting a lot of traffic to your blogs, then it comes down to your headline, right? You need to make sure that your headlines are not sucky. Let's be honest. Let's work on blog post headlines, which naturally becomes your title tags. In SEO, it's your title tag. It's whatever you put in your headline. Let's make sure those headlines are extremely clickbaity, all right? So if I see the post A from post B, and I like the one that has extremely detailed explanation on what I'm going to get, maybe it's 8 tips and things that you didn't know, what you're missing, whatever that is going to evoke that emotion out of the person, you really want to make sure that you capture that and you put it into your headline, and they will more likely click on it even though maybe it's at position 6, right? They're like, oh, I like this one because it talks about, you know, the thing that I was looking for, what I'm missing out, right? The fear of missing out, the FOMO effect is there. Maybe I'm likely to click on number 6. And if more and more people continue to do that, what happens is Google's going to use that as a signal to say, you know what, this is what everybody's looking for. We might as well put that on the first page, first spot. Why waste their time scrolling all the way to the 6th position? So if you can think of that as a means to get more traffic, then every single time you're writing a blog post, because blogs drive most traffic, right? For the most part, it's all blog content or content marketing pieces. And you want to be putting as much effort. In fact, somebody told me a long time ago, it's an 80-20 rule. Put a lot more time into the title of the post than even having to think about what am I going to write about, right? If you can put a lot more effort into, like, the 80% of your strategy should be how much, like, punchy can I make this headline, okay? So if you can do that, then you're much more likelihood to get more clicks, which obviously is going to help you get higher up in search rankings. Like I said, folks, if you can convert that traffic, not just get the traffic, then you are so much better off than putting all this effort, putting out content, getting on the bottom of it, and then no one really clicks onto it, and you wonder why your content marketing is not really working out for you. The second thing I would work on is what else is visible on the page, right? What else is visible on the search results page? Description. Come up with a much better description that is going to evoke the emotion, tell them what they're going to miss out, why they need it, how many steps you're going to cover, and all the awesome things that this post is going to have. Typically, you can write your own description even if it's a blog post, so go ahead and write something that's really awesome. It's going to capture their attention. The third thing that you can do is your URL structure. Maybe you have access to this, maybe you don't have it, but if you can come up with a really awesome URL that is going to get them to click on your post as opposed to your competition on the first page, that's going to get you a higher chance of showing up. And I would think of one other part, which would be, let's say, rich snippets or something that actually has an effect on search results page. Maybe you can show a little review or something that gives you a little bit more room than your competitor. That will be the last thing that I would work on. So once they land onto your website, you should also make that experience extra amazing, right? Put a video if you can, add as many images as possible, optimize everything you can, you know, deep link them, right? Interlink it to other posts and really make them stick on the page, make them go from this page to that page to that page. If you could really, really make sure that experience is even better than just getting to your website, you're going to get them to come back, right? That's one more thing to make sure that you don't just give them a really awesome headline and they leave right out. Guess what? That whole strategy is going to work backwards, okay? Now, one more thing that you could really do that will control whether or not you're going to get higher click-through rate, that's not just your headline, is whether or not your brand is actually a brand that people actually recognize, okay? And if it's an unrecognized brand, like they don't really know, chances are I'm going to click on number 4 because I know what that company is. Maybe it's Entrepreneur, maybe it's Inc., it's this, it's Forbes. I know that brand, I know that publisher. I'm going to click on it. And that actually helps you significantly in getting higher click-through rates, right? Just like in paid search, you're likely to click on the brand that you know. In organic search, it works the same exact way. Your click-through rates are going to decide more and more where you are ranked as opposed to all the other factors. Like I said, it is a machine learning strategy, which I absolutely love. I'm a big fan. I really feel like our ClickX platform is going to have more and more machine learning, AI, and all these different features that are going to help marketers improve their own marketing strategy. But from Google's perspective, there's nothing you can do about it, right? It's automated, it's happening behind the scenes, it's happening instantly, and it's just literally taking all the information from all the users that are going to different pages and also your own website data, which I'm pretty sure Google's using, which is Google Analytics, whether or not they're bouncing back and they like it, whether they don't like it. So it's kind of like a thumbs up, thumbs down thing like you see on YouTube, right? So the same sort of thing is happening, and use that to your advantage, folks. That's really what I want to talk about. Hopefully you got some insights as to how you can use your own headlines and things that are fully in your control to get on the first page. Thank you for watching another edition of Marketing Hack of the Day.
Oh, hi.
Subscribe to our channel.
ClickX, helping businesses increase traffic, generate leads, and close deals.